and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah. The spirit of the woods is like an old good friend. Makes me feel warm and good inside. And I knew his name, and it was good to see him again. 'Cause in the wind he's still alive. Oh, Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Oh, Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you in the big hunt before too long. Before too long. It was kind of dark, another misty dusk. And it came from a tangle down below. And I tried to remember everything it taught me so well. I had to decide which way to go. Was I alone or in a hunter's dream? 'Cause the moment of truth was here and now. I felt his touch, I felt his guiding hand. The buck was mine forevermore. Because of Fred Bear, I'll walk down these trails again. Take me back where I belong. Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you in the big hunt before too long.
Come on now. Uncle Ted. Tribute to Fred Bear. For those joining us on Right America Media, this is also a lead up to The Savvy Truth on Tuesdays.
We're not alone when we're in the great outdoors. We got his spirit, we got his soul. He will guide our steps, he'll guide our arrows home. The restless spirit forever rolls. Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Oh, Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you on the big hunt before too long. Oh, Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Oh, Fred wind, he's still alive. In the 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 wind, I hear Fred Bear. I hear you, Fred. Talk to me. It's all right. Yeah, let's go hunting, baby. Say, Fred, you go up that ridge. Now go down to the swamp. We'll get that bucker.
If some of our teenage thrill seekers really want to go out and get a thrill, let them go up into the northwest and tangle with a grizzly bear or a polar bear.
That is Fred Bear.
Get that will cleanse the soul.
The great singer, rocker, author, hunter, outdoorsman, lover of freedom, Uncle Ted Nugent. Legacy 1160, WSKW. And let's get right through it, to it. Pruitt, how about little Teddy to get us started here, huh?
It's time for a little fun, a few laughs, and a whole lot of truth.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris only represents terrorists and arsonists and people who murder retired cops in St. Louis. I know that the Democrats have turned into the Marxist Party. I know they hate America. They hate the Constitution. And if the Democrats get in charge, we will be a suburb of Venezuela. And I hope everybody out there knows that we, the people, have an absolute moral obligation to vote God, family, country, freedom, Constitution. And if you don't vote those basic principles, the communists and the Marxists would like to thank you.
The John James Show is on Legacy 1160, WSKW.
All right. Welcome to freedom, baby. Let freedom ring. Oh, boy. Do we have some stuff coming up today? Whoa. You want to be around for all of this. Indoctrination at the college level. We'll be talking about that. Unbelievable. And I'm talking about pre-college. You will not believe what the Common App is sending out to students. You will not believe it. You will not believe who just got banned from Facebook. You will not believe it. You will not believe what police have uncovered at a late abortion doctor's house. You will not believe it. And Nancy Pelosi, unity. Not so much. Wait until you hear what she has to say. And gun control is on the way. As promised, we'll have Colin Noir with a piece he did and more. And that's just the beginning of it. We've got Dr. G coming up at 9:30. If you have a question for a medical doctor, I didn't have a chance to post anything about it, but go ahead and post under the video here on any of the pages. And by the way, we are on Legacy 1160's Facebook page, of course, right now. I mean, how long is it going to last? I mean, conservatives are dropping like flies on the platforms. Literally dropping like flies. So, and we've been shadow banned, by the way. We've been shadow banned, as has the Savvy Truth, as has American Women Who Bear Arms, and many, many others. Some have just been deleted. And that comes without warning, by the way. You know, you're here, boom, you're gone. By the way, my son pointed this out to me. He's an admin on American Women Who Bear Arms. We can no longer boost our posts on that page. It's a totally, completely legitimate conservative gun, and not just conservative. It's very conservative values, but guns are not just a conservative desire, a conservative law, rule, constitutional amendment, belief. They're also very legal. They're also very legal and embraced by both sides of the aisle, not so much by the progressive left. But they've stopped us from boosting any posts on that site. We can no longer do it. Illegal. We used to boost the post of pictures of freedom-loving women just out shooting guns in pits, standing there proudly holding a firearm. No longer can we promote it. And that's the start. I mean, that's the precursor to a complete ban. They're changing America. Chuck Schumer said it. Chuck Schumer said it. He is a deplorable anti-American son of a you-know-what. Here's what he said.
Now we take Georgia, and then we change America.
Then we change America, he says, with his glasses down on his nose. What a deplorable human being. What an anti-American schmuck. So that's where we are. That's where we are right now. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough verses to get Chuck Schumer's name into this song. I posted a video yesterday. A lot of people on Facebook have seen it. But if you have not seen it, I'm going to play the audio now. It's a song. The music was by Benny Bell, was the guy's name, but I've rewritten it for today's political feeling.
This is a song about leftists. Not one of them isn't a twit. They're angry and triggered and bitchy and try to make you feel like shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day and you'll always look clean. Joe Biden is quite clearly senile, but he's still supported by Mitt. He often don't know what he's saying, 'cause his skull is packed chock full of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day and you'll always look clean. Kamala's a smug opportunist. Her cackle throws me into a fit. She once said she believed all women, but now she just don't give a shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day and you'll always look clean. Nancy Pelosi's a sea hag, and clearly her dentures don't fit. When she talks, you can't understand her. Sounds like her mouth is crammed full of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look clean. Ilhan, she married her brother. Then they decided to split. She hates police and the Jewish. From Minnesota, she hasn't done shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day and you'll always look clean. Well, this is the end of my ditty. The time has come now, I must quit.
The moral is when you think of leftists, just think of a big pile of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day and you'll always look keen. Oh, there you go. Good morning. Welcome to Legacy 1160 WSKW Freedom's Pep Rally. We are streaming live all over the place. We'll run down through what they are, where we are, coming up. Got to take a break, then we're back with Dr. G straight ahead. I'm John James. Please come back.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Hi, Seth Batty from Rockland Ford here. Happy New Year to all of our customers here at Rockland Ford. Let's put 2020 in the past and start 2021 off with a bang. Rockland Ford is trying to help you start 2021 off with the best deals of the year. How would you like to own a brand new Ford Escape for just $379 a month with no money down and only 1.9% interest? Yeah, that's right. Own a brand new Ford Escape for only $379 a month with no money down. Is an Escape too small for you? Are you looking for something bigger? Then how about a lease deal that's never been better? Lease a brand new, fully loaded Ford Edge for just $359 a month with just $359 down. Oh yeah, I said it. Lease a brand new, fully loaded Ford Edge for just $359 a month. Come on down to Rockland Ford, home of the rock bottom deal off Route 1 in Thomason, and get your deal today.
Payments with qualified credit. Lease is 36-month, 10,500 miles a year. First payment due at signing. Taxes and fees included. Customer must trade in a vehicle.
Townline Antiques wants to know, what are you shopping for today? Searching for furniture to add to your home? Townline Antiques has beautiful pieces of furniture for every room built to last with quality materials from the past. Thinking of decorating in a classic style? You'll find enchanting home decor, artwork, glassware, and hundreds more items around every corner. Do you love collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics? Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items to add to your collection that you won't find anywhere else. And if you love searching through treasures of the past, here's more great news. Townline Antiques has expanded with extra booth space. Now there's even more quality antiques to browse every time you visit. Plus, there are a limited number of dealer spaces now available. If you'd like to learn more about selling at Townline Antiques, just stop in. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. We're in for another nice day today. Partly to mostly sunny skies, brightest towards the coast with more clouds through the mountains. Seasonably mild with highs in the mid to upper 30s. Mainly cloudy tomorrow with a chance for a few light snow showers or flurries. Highs in the mid 30s. We'll see increasing clouds Friday followed by rain and mountain snow for Saturday.
All right, welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW 929 right now. Wow, we're a little early getting here. Dr. John Garofalo on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's a beautiful day, I think. Was it sunny? I can't remember.
It was supposed to be, but
Was it?
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be a pretty nice day, but I've seen a few little snowflakes here and there out the window. So
Is that right? Well, I didn't think it was supposed to snow yesterday, then it did. And it turned out to be a pretty good day, though. I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. So how are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Good. Good. It's good.
Today I'm spraining my ankle, but
No! How'd that happen?
Oh, I don't know. I was letting the dogs out, and I stepped down, and it was interesting. One foot slipped, and the other one didn't.
Oh, boy.
And I kind of bent myself over the top of my ankle. It was really unpleasant.
Did you go down?
Well, I didn't go down hard, but I went down. You know, I was fortunate. I was standing near the stairs, but I really bent my underneath my leg. It was really, it wasn't good.
Geez, I'm sorry to hear that. I have
Well, I'm only half speed today because half of my brain has been interfered with. You know.
That's the way I do my show. One part of my brain tied behind my back, as Rush Limbaugh says. So, yeah, I've got that's a good thing to address, actually, while we're right here talking about it. Did you do you have an air cast or one of those ace bandages on it?
No, ace bandages are plus minus in terms of whether it really makes things get better faster. It helps it feel better and helps keep some of the swelling down. The main thing is the old ice elevate.
Right.
and an anti-inflammatory is the best thing for it, and that's what I did. And that makes a difference. I don't think I actually broke anything, but it's getting better. But like last night, it was bothering me a little bit. But other than that, it's fine.
Well, good.
But ace bandages, elastic sleeves. It depends on the severity of the thing, but most of the time, what those are going to do is help it feel better and may help reduce swelling, but they don't really make it get better.
Okay.
The air cast thing is if you really have a severe sprain, it does two things. It does help you keep you from twisting it again.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But the other thing is it also reminds you to keep your weight off it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Now, and you can have those ace bandages on too tight, can't you?
Yep. And a mistake a lot of people make is you have to remember to start at the foot and wrap up. Don't start at the ankle and wrap down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you want to make the pressure. You want to lessen the pressure as you go up.
Okay.
So you're putting, so you're forcing things back up the leg.
All right.
As opposed to, not letting things get back up the leg. You know what I mean?
The foot up and not the ankle down. That's good to know. See, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, there you go.
See, these are some tips. Now, I've always had for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but my right ankle has always been much more prone to being sprained, and I've done it repeatedly throughout the years, and it doesn't take much. And boy, when I sprain it, I usually go down hard. It happened last summer, and then it'll be weak, and I will re-sprain it, and it's like an ongoing thing. And it's very painful, but ice and elevate are the two key things to take away, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Ice and elevation, and anti-inflammatories make a difference.
Yeah.
If you can't take aspirin or ibuprofen or things like that, just taking Tylenol for pain relief is fine.
Okay. Now, what is a sprain exactly?
All right. Well, there's sprain and there's strain. Sprain is when you affect a ligament, stretching it out, even maybe tearing it a little bit. Ligaments are what connect bones to bone, establishes, the orientation of one bone to another.
Yep.
A strain is when you injure a muscle, and that involves a tendon. Tendons connect. You can strain the muscle itself too, but tendons connect muscles to bones in order to be able to move our. They're like the cables that are attached to the motor. The muscle is the motor, and they're the cables that and that make things move. So a strain is when you strain muscle or a tendon, and a sprain is when you damage a ligament. The connections between bones.
How do you tell the difference? And oftentimes, when you sprain it, I sprain it so hard sometimes, I don't know if it's broken. I mean,
there's no real good way to tell whether something's broken or not. Generally speaking, however, if you fell on your wrist, I would say, and you were wondering whether I sprained it or did I break it, it's very unusual to get severe swelling in an upper extremity from a sprain, because it's easy to get it above your heart and drain things back and blah blah blah. Whereas when you twist an ankle, they almost always swell. There's no place for the fluid to go to.
Okay.
Because it has to go uphill.
So that would probably be a break.
Not necessarily. It doesn't. The degree of swelling. That's what I'm saying. Is if you have a lot of swelling in an upper extremity, it's almost certainly broken.
Okay. Yeah.
But in a lower extremity, that doesn't necessarily help.
Right. Okay.
It's variable from place to place. So.
All right.
The only real way to tell whether something's broken or not is get an X-ray.
X-ray. Yeah. Yeah. I just know sprains are very painful. Very painful.
Sprains can sometimes be more painful than a break. As things swell and things are trying to occupy more space than they're used to being loud. And,
right.
The only problem with X-rays, even X-ray, there's some fractures like in the wrist and some in the foot and stuff that you can't even see them until they start to heal.
Okay.
A fracture and a break are the same thing. no difference between a fractured bone and a broken bone. That means the same thing.
Yep.
But you can have fractures that you can't identify until they start to heal.
All right. Well, interesting. And I'm sorry about your sprain. But they are very painful, though. I commiserate with you. Wow.
Yeah, the older I get, the slower I heal.
Oh, I'm telling. Yeah. No, you're right. That's true. I mean, that's the way we are, I guess.
It is. You take a kid, as long as both ends of a broken bone are in the same room, they'll heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
right.
you get older, it doesn't work that way.
You're right. Well, when you break, okay, here's a question for you before we I've got a couple of questions here. By the way, if anybody has a question right now, I didn't get a chance to promote this before like I normally do, but go ahead and post it. I am monitoring the posts on all on these pages, on Legacy 1160, on my page, on American Women, and on Right America Media. So if you have a question for the doctor, you go right ahead and ask, and we'll try to get it on and answer it for you. Or you can text us at 207-441-6969. You can also private message me if it's a private question. You really don't want to put it out there in public. Go ahead, and I'm monitoring my messenger as well, so you can go ahead and do that. So you want to get right into the questions here, Doc?
Absolutely.
All right, let me see. I got to get back to my sheet. Okay, we did diverticulitis last week. I had saved that.
Right.
Okay, I think I have a cold, but I'm worried about COVID-19. Should I get tested? A lot of people asking this. They get the sniffles now, and I don't know. What is the what do you recommend?
Okay, the problem is you could have what we call relatively asymptomatic COVID with just sniffles, but the things that would really drive you to want to be thinking about, I should get tested for COVID, is where have you been? Have you been exposed to anybody who has been tested positive? And then as far as symptoms go, the number one thing is if you've lost your sense of taste or smell, that's a reason to go get tested. If you're running a fever, and interestingly enough, it's even a low grade. We've dropped the temperature requirement to like 100.5. If you have a temp over 100 point, usually you come in with a temp 100.5, we tell you, turn on, nothing serious. But apparently, with COVID, we've tightened that up a little bit.
All right.
So if you have a temp elevation, temperature elevation, if you lose your sense of smell or taste, profound fatigue is another symptom. The problem with fatigue, of course, is a lot of other viruses cause that, like mono, blah, blah, blah. And flu would do that too.
Yep.
Body aches are another symptom of COVID. But again, there's flu. So you just have the sniffles. And you're not really experiencing any other symptoms. And you have had no known exposures.
Yep.
You haven't been anywhere where your risk was markedly elevated. I would say assume it's a cold and write it out and see. If it starts to get better, fine. If it doesn't, then you would want to get tested.
Now, the sense of taste and smell, from my experience, seems to be a really big one. I mean, that seems to be very common.
Yes, it is. That's one of the most common symptoms of COVID. In fact, a lot of people who don't have any other symptoms will have that. That's the biggie. That is the biggie in terms of when you really start to get suspicious.
Okay, so there you go. Another COVID-related question, and this has to do with the vaccines that are out there. Because now there are symptoms, and you hear of these anecdotal stories of people getting very sick, people losing consciousness. A couple of people have died after receiving them. But that's just because, the news is out there nonstop, and you're going to hear about everything. But one of the symptoms, and this person asks about, is Bell's palsy. That seems to be a more common symptom of some of the vaccines. I don't know which one in particular, or if it's
Bell's palsy is a common side effect of many antiviral vaccines. It doesn't seem that it's as common a side effect with the messenger RNA vaccines as it is with other antiviral, as it would be, for instance, with the flu shot, which is viral component vaccine. And Bell's palsy is paralysis of a nerve in the face, affects your motor function in your face in terms of the muscles. You don't blink.
Yeah.
You might have some trouble.
So you don't.
Your lip will droop. Your face will droop a little bit.
Well, that almost sounds like a stroke. That could be kind of scary.
That's one of the problems with Bell's palsy, is that trying to differentiate it between that and a stroke.
Wow.
But there's ways you can, just from exam and stuff. I won't go into a lot of the details that will tend to indicate that it's more likely Bell's palsy. But depending on the severity of the thing, sometimes you wind up doing a CAT scan just to be sure. That's not anything more than Bell's palsy. But Bell's palsy is usually a self-limited disease. The biggest thing is you have to protect your eye. You have to sort of use artificial tears during the day to make sure it doesn't get dried out. And at night, you should pat your eye so it remains shut.
Yep.
So it doesn't dry out.
Now, what happens if your eye dry, if you don't blink, obviously, your eye dries out. Now, what happens? Is that going to cause vision problems?
Yeah, it can cause vision problems. It can damage your cornea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's certainly something to take seriously. Have you heard whether or not it's a common side effect of the COVID-19?
It is a side effect of the coronavirus vaccines, which is not surprising because it's a side effect of a lot of vaccines. But it's not a common one.
And it goes away?
It goes. Well, like anything else, never say ever.
No. Okay. All right.
But Bell's palsy is one of those things that usually is self-limited and goes away on its own. Yeah.
Now, what if it doesn't? I mean, what are the? I know a guy that was. He was actually. I knew who he was. I don't know him well personally. He had Bell's palsy. He actually was. He was actually on television news.
Yeah.
And how do you? I mean, if you can't blink, or I mean, how do you go about your life in a normal way, especially in a job like that?
I don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
But, it will go away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get it more than once too. So.
Okay. Are there antidotes for it?
It's back and forth about whether or not steroids make any difference. There's a lot of debate about that.
Okay.
As whether or not steroids will make any difference with it. It's felt to be a kind of an autoimmune thing, maybe related to, remember we talked about before with how with strep throat you can develop antibodies against components of strep that are similar to parts of our heart, and cause, that's what rheumatic fever winds up being. Well, just like with vaccines, sometimes you develop antibodies that sort of cause an autoimmune response. But again, those are always self-limited,
Yeah.
Okay. Unlike rheumatic fever or something like that, which is different, But for vaccines, they're generally self-limited.
Okay. So somebody here, Heather just said, my sister had Bell's palsy and didn't recover fully. So
yeah, that happens. It does happen. I'm not saying you always recover, but
right.
But yeah, you may not recover everything fully either. No, that's true.
Is the vaccine worth it with such a high recovery rate? Amy asks.
Vaccine?
The vaccine is with given that we've got like a nationwide like a 99% recovery rate.
Well, I mean that's all comers. But the thing is that the reason the vaccine is so important is the only way we're going to get this thing. The only way we get this genie back in the bottle is if we have enough people who are immune to it. It has nowhere to hide. Okay, and so that's the point. You want to get rid of what's called the reservoir for the virus.
Yeah.
That for instance, that's been one of the problems with Ebola. Is trying to determine, well, where does this thing go and hide between the times that we have outbreaks?
Right.
What is the reservoir? What is the place that this thing hides itself in? And that if we can get enough people immune, then there's no place for it to hide in the population.
I see.
You know.
So people can be carriers of something and not even know it, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. So now what is, I have heard, tell me if this is true or false, or if it's up for conjecture. Are people who are they're asymptomatic, people who are asymptomatic, I have read that people who are asymptomatic, there is no proof that anyone who is asymptomatic can spread COVID-19.
Oh, that's false.
It is false.
That's absolutely false. If you have the virus and you're producing virus and you're shedding virus, whether you have symptoms or not, does not change the fact that you can spread the disease.
Okay. All right.
There's conjecture about that. It's absolutely false. Just because you're symptomatic doesn't mean you're not contagious.
All right. Okay, I thought I'd ask because I'd read different, just like anything else these days. The problem these days is there is too much information out there that purports to be fact. And obviously it can't all be fact. It cannot be. I mean, you've got one side that says this is fact, medically proven, and the other side said, no, this is fact, this is medically proven. So the average person is literally lost, rightfully so.
Well, right. But that gets back to anything you read on the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's in news too.
Because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true.
Right. And because it's on the news, obviously doesn't mean it's true.
That's true. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's so many things where initial impressions, it's the old thing, it's kind of the old thing about the two blind guys scribing an elephant.
Yep.
One of them's at the head and one of them's at the tail. And the way they describe the elephant, of course, is by what they can feel.
Right.
Well, you'd think it was two different critters, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's part of the problem is it depends on what angle people are coming at things from. And so sometimes, partial truth can be just as misleading as absolute falsehood.
Right. I agree.
That's why it's important to make sure you have, that's why you have to make sure you have sources that you can depend on. And that's why a lot of times, I always listen to both. I always listen to both sides of a story.
Oh, I always do that.
And do that, and then usually I can figure out that somewhere the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle,
or slightly to one side or the other.
Right.
Depending on what it is,
Yep.
And so that's like anything else. And so it's the same thing with medical information. You have to be very careful about where is this coming from.
Mm. So, how about herd immunity? Somebody asks.
Herd immunity is very important. That's what the whole purpose of vaccinating everybody is about.
Okay,
but get rid of the reservoir. If you have enough people who, even though there may be still some people who are unimmunized and who are harboring the virus, if you have enough people who are immunized in the herd, then that one person can't spread it anywhere because they're coming in contact with people who are immune.
But I think this person is talking about natural herd immunity as opposed to vaccine, herd immunity.
Well, okay, so if you want to develop herd immunity, you have to get enough people infected so that between 80 and 85% of the population is immune. But in order to do that, 1.5% of those people are going to die.
Okay. Well,
as opposed to doing it with a vaccine.
All right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
I suppose if you find 1.5% of the people dying acceptable, which I certainly don't, which I don't believe very many people would.
Well, it's all in. What I have found, and this is human nature, Dr. G, is it's all in who dies. if you don't know them, it's, we're getting there. It's getting there. We're losing some. But when somebody close to you who dies, then you're thinking, geez, this, maybe we should be doing more. So I get that. I understand the mindset on that. People we don't know in California, Seattle, wherever, we don't know who they are. They're just adding, they've died, but we are getting the herd immunity. But as soon as somebody in your family dies because of it, then you're thinking, wow, maybe we should have done something. So I get that.
Let me give people some perspective on that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Perspective.
Everybody keeps talking about the number of deaths versus the flu. Okay, we've been just about a year with COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you want to believe, but I would say we really started in January, even though we may not have had some positives up here until later. Let's say we started January last year, so it's been a year. Last year's flu season, we had 42 deaths. In a year with COVID, we've had 449 deaths.
Now, 42 deaths, you said last year's flu season nationwide?
No, Maine.
In Maine, 42. Okay. And how many now? How many do we have now here in Maine? COVID?
449.
Okay.
That's 10 times the number.
All right.
So 10 times as many people are dying from COVID as die from the flu every year.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna divide people up into ages. Obviously, we know it's mostly the elderly who are dying from COVID-19, whereas
mostly the elderly who die from the flu too.
Yeah, a lot of young people can die from the flu, though. That's more prevalent among young.
That's true. More. Yeah, but again, most of the people who die from the flu are elderly.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I mean, even though the percentage is lower than with COVID.
Okay. Okay.
It's still the majority thereof. And so, that's the perspective. And this thing is 10 times as deadly as the flu.
All right. Okay. So there you go. There's the vaccine covered. We've got a little bit more time here. Question about cancer. That's always a very common thing. People have all kinds of questions about cancer, and I get that. I sure would if I or somebody I know had been diagnosed. Stage 2 cancer, and I assume this person knows somebody or has it. Stage 2, what kind of cancer? Wait a minute, it said what kind of cancer it was here. Stage 2 stomach cancer. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's go through the stages of cancer. That's for people who've never had to deal with the stages of cancer. What are they, and what do they mean? How many stages are there? 4?
Yeah, generally speaking, there's 4. First off, you talk about what we call in situ cancer, which means in sight. That would be a cancer that, like a skin cancer on this, for instance, that's just limited to right where it is.
Like a mole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except that moles there's stages to moles anyway. But anyway, any cancer that's just only limited to right where it was, that's called in situ.
Okay.
And stage 1 means that it's spread beyond its initial site.
So does that mean it's metastatic at that point?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't really start talking about metastases until late stage 2 or stage 3.
Okay.
Okay, and then stage 1 would be involving the local area, and then stage 4 is generally disseminated disease, meaning it's all over the place.
Really? Is that generally incurable?
Generally speaking, yeah. Well, even stage 3 can be considered incurable.
Okay.
Any cancer can be considered incurable, but whether or not they're all terminal or not is another.
Okay. Yeah.
Like there's certain kinds of skin cancers you can get that they're going to keep coming back. I mean, they're not curable; they're just controllable.
Okay.
Like sun damaged skin cancers, they'll keep coming back. So is it curable? Well, it's not curable, but it's certainly controllable.
So that's not one of those that is necessarily going to be fatal.
No, stomach cancer, generally speaking, though, is a bad actor because the lymphatics are very, very lymphatic system is very prominent in the stomach, and so things are getting to the lymphatic system very quickly from the stomach, and then wind up all over the place. Even though you think you got it all, it's off hidden somewhere.
Wow.
Yep.
Holy cow! So stage 2 is. I mean, that could be. You said stage 2 could be metastatic.
Stage 2 is where it's really starting to get serious. Yeah.
Wow.
There's 2A, 2B, and they're all slightly different from cancer to cancer too. So it's a hard question to answer definitively. That if it's this, and this, it just depends on the type of cancer too.
Right. Yeah.
Some cancers are more aggressive than others.
Stomach cancer is pretty aggressive, is what you're saying.
Yeah, stomach cancer is a bad actor.
Wow. Is that worse than, or as bad as, or the same as, like esophageal cancer?
Esophageal cancer is a bad actor too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I knew somebody who died of that, and yeah. Okay.
Well, again, I mean, that's part of the digestive system.
Right. So the whole
lymphatics are right there.
Yeah, and that goes right through the colon, because a lot of people colon cancer.
Yeah, it's true with colon cancer too. Yeah.
But they can remove part of the colon for that.
Right. That was the next thing I was just going to say. Part of the problem is how much surgery can you do?
Right. Yeah.
The things are variable in terms of how much surgery you do on any one particular cancer, and that makes a difference too.
Now, is there a way? Now, esophageal cancer, or stomach cancer, for that question, for that matter. Now, you obviously can remove part of the intestine, and normally they replace. You end up with a colostomy. How about what can you do to the esophagus? What can you do with the stomach?
Well, I mean, you can remove part of the stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, they do that for gastric bypass.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You can remove part of the stomach. The esophagus is hard to remove because it's not a stretch organ where you can cut a piece out and pull things together.
Wow.
There's a lot of different approaches to trying to replace it with a piece of intestine and blah, but all those things are sort of variable.
Yeah.
In terms of their success.
But they don't, those other things don't have any motility, right? They can't push food down.
Oh yeah, they can. Your bowel moves, your small intestine moves.
Oh, okay. So they actually just replace your esophagus with a piece of bowel.
Yeah, but again, like, it's variable. How well does the nervous system reinstate itself in terms of providing the motility that's needed? Blah, blah blah blah.
Right.
All
right.
Plus the bowel is not the esophagus. The esophagus is designed to get food down to the stomach without really changing it much.
Right.
Whereas anything passing through a piece of bowel is going to get changed a little bit. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Really.
So it's not an easy thing.
Wow. All right. Well, on that note, I mean, people ask, and this is interesting. I mean, this is all interesting stuff. Checking here to see if we have any more. Probably the result. Feeding tube would probably be the result of esophageal. I think Amy's a medical person.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, you can wind up putting a feeding. If you have to remove the esophagus entirely. But trying to get adequate nutrition even through a feeding tube is tough, and stuff like that. I mean, it requires, sometimes you have to wind up with constant drips and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Amy,
there's a lot of options. It just depends on where things are at.
What is parenteral nutrition?
Parenteral.
Okay.
Parenteral, that's pronounced.
Oh, parental.
Parental nutrition is like IV nutrition.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. She's clearly in the medical field. She knew that. So interesting. All right, Dr. G.
But even still, I mean, it's not a perfect, just like dialysis is,
right. Yeah.
It's you got to be hooked up to IV for a long time every day.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. Yeah. And the dialysis. Yeah. That's tough stuff. No, I don't envy people in any of these positions. God bless them all.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's a tough way to be.
And whoever the person with stomach cancer, God bless you. I wish you the best. I really do. Dr. G, you're a godsend. I appreciate your time as always. We've got to run.
Okay.
But take care of your ankle, will you?
I will. I'm doing it.
Yeah, go see a doctor.
I do in the mirror every morning.
Very good. You're a funny man. You know that, don't you? You really are. You make me laugh. Listen, we got to get together sometime when things settle down a little bit. And as always, we all appreciate your time.
Well, I'm glad to give it, and be careful and be respectful out there.
All right, buddy. You have a great day, sir. You have you and your wife take care of yourselves.
We're doing it.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
10:01. Back with more after the news, and I think I got a guy chomping at the bit wants to call in. I'd love go ahead, call in. We're here 621-9759. His name is Pete. 207. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What a rude. This guy's very rude. Okay. So call. You don't get rude on the phone. We'll be fine. You get rude on the phone, I'm going to hang up on you. 207-621-9759. I'm John James.
Hi, this is Teresa Smith, Director of Advising at Kennebec Valley Community College. On behalf of everyone at KVCC, I'd like to wish you all a safe, happy, and healthy new year. And speaking of the new year, it's not too late to take that next step on your educational journey. Classes for the Spring Flex Start semester begin on February 1st, and with more than 30 programs to choose from, KVCC has something for you. Whether you're a high school student who wants to get a jump on college, or a long-term employee hoping to take your career in a new direction, Flex Start is a great option. As always, KVCC's admissions team is ready to answer your questions and guide you through the application process. You can reach us by calling 453-5822, or easier yet, 453-KVCC. Don't spend the winter watching the snow pile up. Make the most of the new year by joining us for Flex Start on February 1st.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is wrecked and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You want to get on with your life, get on with the show,
take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Faith Abube. This morning, for the first time in U.S. history, the House will introduce a second impeachment article against a sitting president. The charge against President Trump inciting insurrection by telling his supporters to march to the Capitol 1 week ago. ABC's Mary Bruce on Capitol Hill with more on one key Republican who's broken ranks with many in her party.
The number 3 Republican in the House, Liz Cheney, announcing she'll vote to impeach, saying there has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. Cheney sending a powerful message to her party, saying Trump summoned this mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack. Everything that followed was his doing. None of this would have happened without the president.
U.S. officials say the FBI did warn law enforcement agencies ahead of last week's breach of the Capitol. Earlier, law enforcement agencies had said they were caught off guard. This is ABC News. It's being called the biggest mafia trial in decades, and it's getting underway in Italy. ABC's Megan Williams has a story from Rome.
The trial has more than 300 suspects and so many lawyers and judges. The Calabrian town of Lamezia Terme had to transform a vast call center into a courtroom.
24,000 wires.
Antonio Nicaso is a top expert on the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta crime group, whose members were arrested last year for cocaine trafficking and other crimes. He says the group's ability to connect the underworld with the stock market has made it the biggest mafia in Italy.
It combines the business skill of a multinational with a stubborn tradition.
Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
And one of the best quarterbacks in football is trying his hand at something new. Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers told the Pat McAfee Show that he will get a chance to be a guest host on Jeopardy! Rodgers says the late Alex Trebek was one of his idols growing up. Faith Abube, ABC News.
This ad furnished by Nesmataiju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news. I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
It's time for the truth, and you found the home of it right here.
My name is Ted Nugent, and these are my rules of engagement. Trample the weak, hurdle the dead, destroy evil, win the damn war. Quick, identify the threat to America and destroy it.
Here's your truth-telling, freedom-loving, flag-waving host, John James.
Hi there, welcome back. Okay, I'm going to share with radio listeners and audio listeners and YouTube viewers something that has been, and the other pages too, by the way, Right America Media, Legacy 1160, and American Women Who Bear Arms, that I got a threat yesterday. And this guy, I'm... Hi, Alanie. This guy has lost his mind. I'm going to say his name because he has no problem being public because he's posting publicly on my page. His name is Pete Honey. Looks like honey, Pete Honey. So now he's calling me a liar. You said 10. Okay, here's. Let me walk you. I called the Bangor police yesterday, and they were very unsympathetic. It seemed they were very unresponsive. It's like, yeah, whatever. I called him. I left a message on a detective's line and left my phone number, told him what was going on. Just as a matter of radio station policy. We take every threat seriously. And I never got a call back. And I sent a screenshot of the post and everything. And they said, well, call your local authorities. I said, the guy's page says he's from Bangor. So, that's why I'm reaching out. There wasn't a problem here in Augusta, so I'm reaching out to the Bangor police. So apparently, the Facebook, apparently they don't put much stock in that, although it's there and they use it. So I said, the guys from Bangor, I said, I left a message with a detective. I sent the screenshots, and they sent me a thumbs up. That's my response from the Bangor Police Department. So I don't know. Maybe they've got a high school kid taking care of their Facebook page, but it's on. There is a paper trail anyway, or at least a social media trail. So let me read to you what the guy posted. And then this morning he commenced to say he did not threaten anybody. But so then I shared the post. Where the heck are we here? Let me just get back to it real quick. Okay, here's the post from yesterday. It said, and this is his post, his name's on it, the timestamp and everything. I'm coming for you tomorrow. You will submit and acquiesce. You are the problem, you revolting sap. I have a massive bunch of folks coming for you. You'll be lucky to have a job after. That was the post, and he put a smiley face at the end. So that was supposed to make it okay, I guess. The smiley face. Sorry. He doesn't understand. He doesn't. He clearly doesn't get it. So this morning, he says he wants to be on the air. So I told him. I said, "You want to be on the radio?" I gave him the number. You're invited to call in. And I'm not going to treat you any differently than anybody else who calls in. No, we'll get to you when we get to you. If we see the phone, if we get to you, if I know you're calling, I'll watch for the phone. So here's what he said this morning. Now I've got to get back to this. Hang on. What he said this morning, just now. He said, "You said 10 o'clock, you liar." And it's a minute before 10. I'm on with Dr. G, right? So I'm supposed to drop everything, apparently, to talk with this guy. And if you don't do it post-haste, then you're a Nazi, apparently. So what he says, he said, you said, okay, so the timestamp is 10 o'clock. You said 10, you liar. You're ducking me, MFer. We know what that means. We've heard Rashida Tlaib use that. The FBI will be contacting you later. We'll be contacting you after I spoke and reported you and Mike for calling for a revolution. I can't listen to your shh anymore. I'm here. So I have no idea what this guy's I mean, he's just proving that he's a crackpot. And I guess I'm going to have to block him. You've seen this guy. If you're on Facebook, you've seen this guy posting for days and just being rude. And I've put up with it. I've put up with it. People have the right to their opinion. When they start calling you an MFer and they say you don't have to listen to your shh no, you don't. You don't have to listen to our shh anymore. Hello? There's a thing called an off button on your Facebook. There are other people there, 2 or 3 other people on Facebook you can troll. Yeah, there are buttons on your radio. There are dials on your radio. I mean, it's not that difficult. Let me help you, Pete. There's a button on the bottom of your phone. It's the center button. Push it, and the feed will go dark. And then you can sign back on and find somebody else and yeah. Yeah, but thank you, Linda. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I don't like to block people. My son said, "Why don't you block him?" I said, "I don't like to block people." But this has gone beyond the pale. And those are just a couple of the posts. I mean, there have been others, including his denial. Now I'm looking for some others. How do I eviscerate you? With my words, John, make no mistake, I never threatened anyone. That's what he said this morning. Now read the post above it. Read the post above that video, Mike's video. And read the threat. I never threatened anyone. Typical leftist. Typical off-the-rails leftists. So much, Donna says, amen, sister. It's 10:14 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And I want to tell you first, app. I'm not familiar with it. But if you're ready for some 21st century indoctrination, here we go. According to freebeacon.com, a college admission application service is telling high school seniors that minority protesters are treated differently than white protesters due to systemic racism. Oh, we want racism to go away. Then stop talking about it. Morgan Freeman, not me. So this common app that goes out to millions of college-age students had this letter attached to it. This is the letter. I'm going to read it to you now. We witnessed a deeply disturbing attack on democracy on Wednesday when violent white supremacist insurrections stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to undo a fair and legal election. The stark differences between how peaceful black and brown protesters have been treated for years relative to Wednesday's coup again call attention to the open wound of systemic racism. That's what's going out to college kids. Millions of college-age kids. So, talk about calling for a revolution. Who's calling for a revolution? Who is calling for a revolution? Certainly not us. Whatever they say, whatever you say, Pete, is what you, in fact, are doing, because you are a liar. You hate truth. You hate America. We're on to it. Maybe you don't even know how much you hate America, but you hate America. You're the one calling for a revolution with your incendiary words. Now, this message was signed by Common App's CEO, Jenny Ricard, R-I-C-K-A-R-D. Jenny Ricard cheered on last summer's Black Lives Matter protests, many of which turned to looting, destruction, killing, occupying. She cheered it on. She cheered it on as these thugs were left to their own devices and not arrested. And if they were bailed out. These are the people Joy Reid said never did anything wrong. They never got arrested for anything. Joy Reid on the incorrigible MSDNC. In a statement released in June, Jenny Ricard of Common App, by the way, if you want to write to Common App, feel free. If you want to post all about Common App and how they hate America and how they are indoctrinating kids to be just like them, intolerant, hateful, racist fools, then go right ahead. Share it. In June, Ricard said no amount of education can protect black students from the systemic racial injustices that have plagued our society for hundreds of years. Shut up. Talk about inciting violence. You talk about inciting a revolution. These fools do it. They accuse us of what they are doing. Fools. I'm a little peppy. Thank you for the comment. Angus King, Pingree, and Golden are going to vote for another bogus impeachment. Yeah, how about that? How about that? See what Susan Collins does now. See what she does this time. I'll tell you what. They are driving nails in the coffin of America. or they're trying to, this is what they're doing. They don't even realize, or maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe the people in Congress aren't as stupid as the people out here who we see on social media, right? Who follow them. They are clearly just indoctrinated. They are in a cult. They are miserable, absolutely enraged humans. As Pete has demonstrated, just enraged to the point of calling people names. That's where I draw the line, by the way. I've said that many times. That's where I draw the line. That's when I start deleting people and blocking them. When they start with that crap. And it's never somebody on the right. Never. Never. They cancel people they don't agree with. Or they just call them names because they have no intellect. They have nothing beyond name calling. I was kind of looking forward to him calling to see what he had to say. I want to see what kind of tripe he had to spew, and I was going to give him the time. But he's a coward. All talk, no action. Typical. Typical. 1021 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. How about this? According to an article in left-wing rag Vice, law enforcement today, are you familiar with it? I read it. I get quite a few stories out of there. I get a lot of insight into policing out of there, mostly, active cops, retired cops, right for it. Vice calls it a propaganda page for cops, by cops. Well, now it's been blocked from posting as part of Facebook's push to eliminate anybody on the right. Anybody who they consider a conspiracy group. Go, Mark Zuckerberg! You're killing America! Way to go, you're killing free speech, you're killing America, along with the leftists. You're killing America. You're trying to. I really don't think it's going to go well. This push is just beyond comprehension. This push to the left. The socialists literally are in control of our government. And they are thrilled. They are thrilled, and they are egotistical, and they think they can't be stopped because they have both houses of Congress and they've got the presidential office, the executive branch. They've got all the branch with the exception of the Supreme Court. And after what happened with them, the Supreme Court refusing to hear anything regarding election fraud, I wonder about how conservative they are. It looks like even they may be drinking the Kool-Aid. Did you hear my little song? If you're just tuning in, I want you to hear my little song. I'll play it again. I had fun doing the little song. There's a video. If you go on Facebook, it's on American Women. It's on Legacy. It's on my page. It'll be on Right America Media later today. I'll make sure I get it on Right America Media, the video. Video's kind of cunning. Cunning's a main word for cute. But the song goes a little something like this. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music.
This is a song about leftists. Not one of them isn't a twit. They're angry and triggered and bitchy and try to make you feel like shaving cream. Be nice and clean. Shave every day and you'll always look keen. Joe Biden is quite clearly senile, but he's still supported by Mitt. He
He often don't know what he's saying, 'cause his skull is packed chock full of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look keen. Kamala's a smug opportunist. Her cackle throws me into a fit. She once said she believed all women, but now she just don't give a shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look keen. Nancy Pelosi's a sea hag, and clearly her dentures don't fit. When she talks, you can't understand her. Sounds like her mouth is crammed full of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look clean. Ilhan, she married her brother. Then they decided to split. She hates police and the Jewish. From Minnesota, she hasn't done shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look keen. Well, this is the end of my ditty. The time has come now, I must quit. The moral is, when you think of leftists, just think of a big pile of shaving cream. Be nice and clean, shave every day, and you'll always look keen. Benny Bell Classic. Somebody posted on my video yesterday, reminded them of the old Dr. Demento days. That's exactly what I was thinking. Dr. Demento, that shaving cream. Benny Bell, that was one of the classics that he played. Back with more. Stick around. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Townline Antiques wants to know, what are you shopping for today? Searching for furniture to add to your home? Townline Antiques has beautiful pieces of furniture for every room, built to last with quality materials from the past. Thinking of decorating in a classic style? You'll find enchanting home decor, artwork, glassware, and hundreds more items around every corner. Do you love collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics? Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items to add to your collection that you won't find anywhere else. And if you love searching through treasures of the past, here's more great news. Townline Antiques has expanded with extra booth space. Now there are even more quality antiques to browse every time you visit. Plus, there are a limited number of dealer spaces now available. If you'd like to learn more about selling at Townline Antiques, just stop in. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show,
take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. We're in for another nice day today. Partly to mostly sunny skies, brightest towards the coast with more clouds through the mountains. Seasonably mild with highs in the mid to upper 30s. Mainly cloudy tomorrow with a chance for a few light snow showers or flurries. Highs in the mid 30s. We'll see increasing clouds Friday, followed by rain and mountain snow for Saturday.
Good morning. It's 10:30 right now. Legacy 1160 WSKW. John James. And I just I put a one of the posts, one of the comments. I try to share comments when I can on the feed for everybody to see, but I don't often get the chance. But yeah, Dr. Demento, we were talking about Dr. Demento because of that shaving cream song. He does have a page. Yes, I did know that. I forgot about that, though. Dr. Demento brings back a lot of memories. My buddy and I used to go camping, and when we did, it was always on the weekend, and Dr. Demento, I think, was on Sunday night, Saturday or Sunday night. I don't remember which night. And we would just sit, we'd have a few, maybe more than a few, and we just listened to Dr. Demento, and it was great. It was so good. I mean, that was life, baby. Sitting around a campfire, smelling my sneakers burn. Yeah, he threw my sneakers in the campfire. Rick. So, but I remember some of the songs. I remember Boobs a Lot. You remember Boobs a Lot? There was what else? Oh, they were all great. Great songs. Fish Heads, Dead Puppies Aren't Much Fun. It was funny at the time. But I understand people that love dogs don't like to hear Dead Puppies Aren't Much Fun. But it was a funny song. I mean, take it for what it's worth, right? I mean, it's Dr. Demento. It's not supposed to be politically correct. I don't know if Dr. Demento could exist on the radio today, if anybody would carry him. What's that? Dr. Demento. Yeah, thank you. I think that's Mikkel said. When Americans still had a sense of humor. Absolutely. Those were the days, my friend. 10:32 right now on Legacy, Freedom's Pep Rally. And this is not a political story, but it is a story of parenting gone awry. I wanted to share this with you because this is just way beyond anything you normally hear. But it happens, and you may know parents like this. God forbid. Some people should just not be parents. We know who they are. Some people realize they shouldn't be parents and never have kids. God bless them. I mean, there you go. You don't think you ought to have kids? Going to cramp your style? You're too busy? Whatever. I don't care. Just don't have kids. You're a joy-free country, right? Well, these parents should never had kids. 2 Florida parents facing charges of child neglect after police discovered they had been providing their children's teenage babysitter. She was 15 when she started babysitting. They had been providing their children's teenage babysitter and underage friends alcohol and marijuana while she was at their home watching their kids. Listen to this report from WFLA News 8. This is unbelievable.
Investigators tell 8 on your side, not only was the alcohol use allowed, it was also encouraged. They claim on one occasion, Misty sent a text to the girl, "Get drunk and pass the blank out." Detectives also discovered
babysitter with alcohol and...
Okay, apparently that didn't get edited right. I'll get it. I want you to hear that report. I can edit it on the fly here. Just very frustrating. Now I'm not gonna start whining. I won't. It's just very, very hard to get everything edited the way it should be. All right, so I've got it here. I'm editing it on the fly. Okay, here is WFLA. Here is the story. Listen to this.
Well, good evening to you, Keith. Deputies arrested. They picked up 38-year-old Adam Thayer at his Palm Harbor home earlier tonight. He and his wife, Misty Mitchell Thayer, are now both facing child neglect charges. Is there anybody with the Thayer family that wanted to talk to us?
No, not really.
A young man who answered the door at the Thayer's Palm Harbor home had no comment. It was here that detectives say over a 2-year period, the couple allowed the babysitter and her friends to consume alcohol as she watched the couple's young twins. The teen was 15 when she began working for the Thayers. Now she is 17. Investigators tell 8 on Your Side, not only was the alcohol use allowed, it was also encouraged. They claim on one occasion, Misty sent a text to the girl, "Get drunk and pass the blank out." Detectives also discovered the couple drank alcohol and smoked marijuana with the teen after they returned home after bar hopping. Adam Thayer is the Dean of Students at Pinellas Academy of Math and Science. It's a school of about 900 students, located on Highland Avenue in Clearwater. Thayer is now facing 2 counts of child neglect. Investigators tell us his wife is currently out of town, but will face the same charges when she returns.
How about that? How about that? So you got these 2 precious little children at home. You get a 15-year-old babysitter, a young woman who wants to make a little money. So you're trusting her with your kids, but you're also telling her to go ahead and get drunk and smoke pot while you're watching the kids, and by the way, invite friends over. I hope they lose parental rights. I really do. They don't deserve to have kids. It's 10:37 on Legacy 1160 WSK. You know, the surprising part about that is this went on for 2 years before they got caught. That's the amazing thing. And I've got somebody here confirming, Paul confirming, it was on Sundays, past his bedtime, so his dad would record it so he could listen on Monday after school. How cool is that? How cool is that? Poisoning pigeons in the park. That was another one. I've got a double somewhere. I've got the double set of Dr. Demento CDs. Has all those songs on it. They're coming to take me away, haha. That was another one. A ton of them. It's 10:38 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Well, let's stay with the kid theme, shall we? This is disgusting. This is, I would go so far as to say this is beyond disgusting. This is horrifying. And it takes a lot for me to say anything is horrifying. But this meets the bar and exceeds it. According to the Blaze, police photos showed what the family of an Indiana abortion doctor saw when they tried to clean up his garage and discovered the remains of 2,246 fetuses. Here is the gruesome story from Chicago's CBS 2.
No, why Dr. Ulrich Klopfer did what he did, but tonight, our closest look and our cleanest insight into how he did it.
The 31 years that I've been doing this job, I've never seen anything like this ever.
And for the first time, you are seeing what Dr. Ulrich Klopfer kept hidden inside his Will County garage, surrounding his cars, tucked behind luggage, stacked to the ceiling, boxes, some of them wilting, some of them coolers, all of them containing fetal remains. 2,246 remains in all. They are from cases he handled from 2000 through 2002, only discovered after his natural death in September of 2019.
Hundreds and hundreds of boxes that we had to go through to make sure there were no more of these remains.
These images, obtained exclusively by CBS 2, show the remains were often kept in boxes addressed to his Indiana abortion clinics. Investigators believe from 2000 through 2002, he bagged and boxed the human tissue, cataloged and stored it here at his Crete Township property. He stored nearly 200 more inside this old Mercedes, found days later. A team of 50 sorted through the sordid evidence of an abortion doctor whose habits at home made for a crime he'd never be charged with, and a case they'll never forget.
Probably one of the most unusual cases in our careers.
2,246 fetuses he himself collected over just a couple of years. One doctor. And for those heartless, clueless people who may be saying, well, they weren't humans, they were only a clump of cells. There is this part of the news story.
And while we will never have a motive from Dr. Klopfer, we do know that there was a funeral for all 2,411 of those fetal remains late last year.
Okay, 2,411. I misspoke. It was I said less. Okay, give him credit for all of them. The doctor had performed abortions at his clinics in Gary, Indiana, and South Bend until his medical license was suspended in 2015 over medical reporting failures. But he had that nice collection of aborted fetuses. And we find out posthumously. How many people in the abortion industry, in the big business industry, in the abortion mills, I mean, they're bigger than paper mills. Paper mills in Maine could only hope to be as big as the abortion mills are in places like Indiana and in parts of Maine, probably. I don't know. I haven't looked for an abortion clinic recently. South Bend, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg is the mayor of South Bend. So he had to say something, right? Pete Buttigieg had to say something. So, of course, he's pro-baby killing. We know that. He's pro-baby killing mills. So he made it as sugary sweet and as palatable as possible so as not to hurt anyone's precious feelings.
Like everyone, I find that news out of Illinois extremely disturbing, and I think it's important that be fully investigated. I also hope that it doesn't get caught up in politics at a time when women need access to health care.
Oh, women need access to health care. Killing another person is gently framed as health care. You ever wonder what God sees when he looks down on our country with all its immorality and injustice? You ever wonder about that? Oh, it's just health care. Just health care. Just discarded tissue. Just discarded clumps of cells. We take care of them with the old Electrolux. Then we let the doctor package them up and put them in his garage, his car, wherever there's room. Nothing to see here. Oh, by the way, we are going to have a funeral for all of these clumps of cells. Well, I thought a funeral was reserved for human people. Oh. Seems to me a bit of an admission there, whether you admit it or not. 1043. Ilhan Omar. She's one of the people. She's the brother marrying, perhaps here illegally, from Somalia sister, who is now a representative, a re-elected representative, probably fraudulently. Yeah, her gang of thieves were found to be harvesting ballots, buying ballots. How else could somebody like her, a mook like Ilhan Omar, get reelected? She's done nothing. My song says it all. She's done for Minnesota. So she was on MSDNC, with Hallie Jackson. They're all leftists there on MSNBC. I mean, this is all propaganda media. propaganda media and big tech, including Fox now, by the way, you have to throw them in, because you know why that is, because of who is running the coop, who is running the farm, who is in charge of the circus. So they're taking it in the direction. I don't think Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, and Tucker Carlson will be there all that much longer. I'm thinking they aren't going to be around much longer on Fox News. That's just that's only my opinion. But let's wait and see. So anyway, the deplorable Hallie Jackson. Oh yeah, you recognize her from NBC. She's on the Today Show sometimes. Yeah, she's just one of the guys. She's just one of the guys. You know, she's all part of the same mindset, because that's one of the things I swear on the application to work for NBC. What is your political ideology? And I think if you check Democrat, you're good. If you check Republican, forget it. You're not even going to get called back for another interview. That's what I think. And I think if you lie, you're really on the right and you put Democrat, they're going to find a reason to get rid of you. Let's see, who can we? Oh, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, remember her? She had a very successful and very good show. I enjoyed watching Megyn Kelly on her NBC show. But she made the fatal mistake. She made the fatal mistake one day of asking, is it wrong to dress up in blackface for Halloween? Okay, so maybe that was a little ignorant of culture. Maybe that was a little naive, but it wasn't a hateful question. It was a question. And she was fired. So NBC, don't even watch NBC. Don't even watch them. Don't watch NBC. Lester Holt, don't watch Lester Holt. Don't watch them, because you are contributing to their success if you do. Do you want to do that? Do you want to contribute to their success? I don't. So Ilhan Omar, they love her on MSNBC and CNN. They do. They love her. And Hallie Jackson was on and interviewing Ilhan Omar, who said holding Trump accountable is necessary to uphold her oath of office. This starts out with Hallie Jackson.
Congressman, I was looking down a moment ago because I was reading a note in from our team at the White House, because as you and I are having this conversation, and we teed this up at the top of the show, President Trump has left the White House. He is heading down for a border visit. And we have now heard from him for the first time since he incited that riot at the Capitol on Wednesday.
He is speaking
to the press publicly,
typical
right?
NBC
Not to somebody that is a White House staffer in a pre-taped video. And he's making some remarks, and I'd like to get your reaction to them. Again, with the understanding for all our viewers, you have no prior knowledge of this. I'm literally reading this from these so-called pool notes as we're getting them. But the president talked about how the impeachment, in his view, is the continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the history of politics. And I'm paraphrasing that in some way. The president appears to be linking the first impeachment to this one. In your view, is that a valid argument?
It is not. And, I know that some have likened the reaction that we are getting, obviously, from the president and some of, Democrats and some of Republicans in Congress to someone saying, if we were to hold a murderer or someone who's committed violence accountable, there will be more. And to me, it is really the act having consequences for actions that act as a deterrent. We know that some have said he's learned his lesson. Some have also used, childlike analogies to talk about he's put his hand on a stove and he's now burned and he won't do it again. But this is not just about him. This is about fulfilling our oath of office. And if we do not take that serious, I don't know how we can continue to be members of Congress and say that we are to protect our country from domestic enemies.
Oh, you need to protect our country from domestic enemies. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? We need to protect our country from domestic enemies like Donald Trump. What was the mayhem and bloodshed on the streets across America this past summer, including Minneapolis, where it all started? Ilhan! Was that just some wacky fun? Ilhan! Was Chris Cuomo on CNN saying protests aren't supposed to be peaceful? Was that just some wacky fun? Ilhan? We're burning police precincts down, looting businesses, destroying lives, destroying people, overturning cars? Was that all just wacky fun? Ilhan? That was domestic terrorism, Ilhan Omar, but she's blind. She's not woke. She says she's woke. Hell, she married her brother. What kind of intelligence has she already shown us? Republican Senator and Majority Leader, currently Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, is pleased with congressional Democrats' efforts to impeach Donald Trump over the attack on the Capitol building by pro-Trump supporters, or as he says, a pro-Trump mob, according to the New York Times. The Times claims McConnell believes the move could help purge the president from the GOP, and the leader blames President Trump for Republicans losing control of the Senate. Purge the president from the GOP. You know what that means? That's code. That is code. Let me tell you what Mitch McConnell, what that is code for, to purge Donald Trump from the Republicans. That is code for, we want the GOP to go back to the way it used to be. You know, with the backdoor deals with China and all these sleazy undertakings that we like to take with the Democrats, and, you know, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and John Kerry and wink, wink, my wife Elaine Chao and me. Yeah. That's the old Republican Party. That's what we want. We want to be able to put the screws to the American people without some idiot like Donald Trump calling us out and making it public. This is the epitome of the good old boy network. And it involves girls too, let's be fair. The good old boys and girls network is alive and well in Mitch McConnell's vision for the Republican Party. They don't want Donald Trump. They don't want people like Donald Trump. And Mitch McConnell, like the rest of the leftists, would just as soon 75 million plus people dropped off the face of the earth today so they could go back to business as usual. This is not going to be easy. They are unmasked, and they are pissed about it. They are. I mean, it's hysterical, but it's so serious. This is why all of this. It's because of the unmasking. Do you realize that? I think you do. I think you do, because you're smart. You're not triggered. You, like me, take time to actually think things out and don't say what they tell you to say. Don't think what they tell you to think. I don't care that Mitch McConnell's a Republican. He's a mook. He's a loser. He was of some help getting judges installed on the circuit courts. Yes, he was. The lower courts, he did help President Trump with that. Kudos for that. But as far as I'm concerned, we're done with him. He can go now. The turtle cocaine Mitch, bye-bye. Time to go. You've been in there too long. You've got too much power. You're stealing too much from the American people. How many of our tax dollars do you suppose? Oh, I encourage you to read these books like the Peter Schweitzer books, which I've been really on lately. I encourage you to read them, but at the same time, it's just going to make you mad because the amount of money from us that goes to help them make themselves and their families and friends rich, they're getting rich off our backs. And guess who they accuse of being the evildoers, the billionaires and the millionaires in America? They're the evil. No, they are the problem. It's a shell game. It's all smoke and mirrors. Take the focus off us, put it on people who are actually making themselves successful, demonize them, take the focus off us. We can go behind closed doors. We can continue getting rich. The Bidens are rich beyond belief. The Kerrys are rich beyond belief. Hunter Biden is rich beyond belief. Off your back and my back. Mitch McConnell is rich beyond belief because he has Chinese in-laws who have made billions, millions, billions of dollars probably off China, off the military complex to a certain extent, and they're giving the McConnells money from China because Mitch McConnell allowed China to engage with him, doing him the favor of letting them engage with a high-ranking official in America, Mitch McConnell. The Chinese love that. They pay for the influence, believe me. And where does the influence come from? It comes from our tax dollars. That's where it comes from. How do you think they make these trips? They make these so-called trips to, we got to discuss peace and relations and trade. And well, maybe that's a little part of it. Maybe. But it's more important that they get money in their pockets, that their wallets are overflowing with greenbacks. That's all that really matters. You and I don't matter. Americans don't matter. Hell, we're just collateral damage. You look at some of the money Obama and his friends were able to make, virtually shutting down businesses and then having their friends buy these businesses and become huge successes. It's called smash and grab. Look it up. Smash and grab in politics. Look it up, and you will see that these people are in it for them and their friends and their family. And they ruin hundreds of, maybe millions of people in order to benefit themselves. And they're never caught because they have this smoke and mirrors game where nobody looks at them. They're only looking at the people they say are responsible, the people who deny there needs to be social justice, the billionaires are the ones paying you and me to do our jobs so we can live a decent life. The corruption is rampant, and it's being called out, and it's being unmasked, and this is the cause of everything you're seeing here. Every single thing. It's all about the entitlement of the elite. Has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with him inciting a riot, as Hallie Jackson on MSNBC said. And there was election fraud, but you can't say it. In fact, Facebook is deleting anything that has the phrase "stop the steal" in it. Forget about it. You can't even post that. It is immediately deleted. You don't think this is all, you talk about conspiracies. The conspiracy that is going on right now, that is being perpetuated on us, we aren't blind to it. Some of us are not blind to it. Some of us understand it. Some of us know it. Some of us see it. And they don't like that. Must be rid of these people who know. 10:59. We'll be right back.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
The beginning of the new year has brought along with it incredible deals on new Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles during the Start Something New sales event going on now at Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Start shopping at HaightChryslerDodgeJeep.com or stop by 507 Lakewood Road, Clowes Corner, Madison.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. The House of Representatives debates the rules of the second impeachment of President Trump.
Upon adoption of this resolution, it shall be in order without intervention of any point of order to consider in the House House Resolution 24, impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Eventually, members will put forth a single article of impeachment, the second one for President Trump, the first time that's ever happened in U.S. history. In 2019, no Republicans voted to impeach the president. This time, ABC's Mary Bruce says that's not the case.
Republicans today are grappling with a question that a week ago would have seemed unimaginable, whether they should abandon President Trump or continue to enable him politically. It is a huge political calculus for Republicans, in addition to, of course, being just a question of morality. What is right and what is wrong?
The investigation continues into those who carried out the breach at the Capitol 1 week ago. This is ABC News. President-elect Joe Biden is making more picks for top spots. Sources tell ABC News that longtime aide and former Obama administration staffer Elizabeth Sherwood Randall is Biden's pick to be his Homeland Security advisor. ABC's Brian Clark says a former ambassador also is being asked to come back.
Samantha Power served as ambassador to the United Nations during the second term of the Obama administration. Wednesday, President-elect Joe Biden announced he would nominate the Ireland-born Power to serve as administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development. Calling Power a world-renowned voice of conscience and moral clarity, the president-elect also said he would elevate the role to part of the National Security Council. The Biden transition said USAID will work on the biggest challenges of our time, including COVID-19, climate change, global poverty, and democratic backsliding. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Walmart is testing a so-called smart cooler that could be placed on the doorsteps of customers and allow grocery deliveries around the clock. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What's in store this week at Staples?
Restocking those school supplies.
Whether class is in school, at home, or a little bit of both, school goes on.
And Staples has everything your student needs, like notebooks, folders, and lap desks at amazing prices.
This week, Staples 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents each, and 4-ounce Elmer's school glue is just 75 cents each.
Shop in store or pick up curbside.
Restock for school and save at Staples.
Ends 1/16/21 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
And now, the show that highlights America's most intelligent people.
Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife. Yeah, Joe Biden's wife, because she, he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor.
Hell of a doctor.
She's an amazing doctor.
Amazing
Freedom's
doctor.
Pep Rally with John James.
Whoopi Goldberg, boy, she's a bright one, huh? Woo! Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Call me racist for that. She is. She's numbing the pounded thumb.
Yeah, Jill Biden's great. She's a hell of a doctor. Jill Biden is, she got a down there. She got a right down there.
She's she's got a doctorate in education, by the way. I don't know what she would, she's a hell of a doctor, Whoopi says. I don't know what she would, Surgeon General, what is her, I mean, we had Ben Carson. Now, Ben Carson was a brain surgeon. He operated on people's brains. So, what would Whoopi Goldberg operate? Not Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, God forbid. Jill Biden. I'm not saying Jill Biden isn't smart. I'm sure she's a very intelligent woman, not intelligent enough to talk her husband out of running for president, but intelligent nonetheless. She operate on you with a, I don't know, a ruler maybe, cut you with the sharp edge, that metal edge on a ruler. She's a school teacher.
She's a hell of a doctor.
I'm sorry. That's mean. I don't have a mean bone in my body. No, I really don't. I get frustrated and I get right on edge. I get right angry. I get right wound. What I get. All right. We got 11:06 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Share with your friends if you'd be so kind. Numbers have been going up pretty good on the video feed, despite the fact that we're being shadow banned on at least 2 of the platforms. Maybe all 3 of them, which is sad. Because it's only because we're conservative viewpoints. Soon, Salvatore says, yeah, soon we'll get to, oh, thank you, Lisa. Thank you. It just says I do a good Whoopi Goldberg impression.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa. I really do appreciate that. But Joe Biden, she's a hell of a doctor.
Oh, you'd think somebody on national TV, right, would know the people they admire, the leftists, all the leftists. You'd think the people on national, this isn't like a little dinky radio station like I'm at here. I know my place in the world. Yeah, Pete's going to call the FBI on Mike and I because we're on a little radio station in central Maine with some followers on social media, some in different parts of the country. And we're a threat. We're calling for a revolution. First of all, we never called for a revolution. Number one. Number two, we know our place in the world. We aren't on ABC or NBC or CBS, where millions of people tune in every single day. We aren't there yet. But Whoopi Goldberg is, and Whoopi Goldberg doesn't know the qualifications of Jill Biden, the person she loves, the person whose husband is now the savior of the free world. I think she should be a Surgeon General. Let's see, Salvatore, is this news? New news here? Anyone see the Parler hack? They got everyone's data, photo IDs, GPS locations, all the posts hacked, and law enforcement has not done anything. Twitter has done nothing. Really, I did not see about that. Hacking is a violation of Twitter's terms of service. Yeah, I would hope so. Or posting hacked material is a violation too. Thank you, Amy. Little stations are the best. I hate corporate radio. There's some little stations that are owned by corporations, but yeah, you're right. You're right. The smaller stations, we've got great ownership. We got great management here. I hope it always stays that way. Maybe I might not always be able to say that about this company because who knows? Who knows? Corporations, they buy, they sell, but right now, the people that own this company now are absolutely terrific. Mike and I get full autonomy. And I mean, can't say anything bad about the company. Now, I will tell you, not everybody here agrees with what we do or say, but they realize they realize there are people that like to hear it because they are professional people. They are smart and wise people. And they do not let their political ideologies get in the way of what is a necessary piece of information or what is a necessary part of broadcasting. And a very successful part, too, I might add. Liberal radio doesn't do anything. Liberal radio has proven time and time again it cannot sustain itself because all they have is anger. That's all they've got. And so they fail. What's his name from Saturday Night Live tried the, what was it? I can't remember what I can't even remember what the name of the network was. Joe Piscopo. Joe Piscopo is he's a conservative. There's the other guy that was in Congress. I don't care about, never cared. Sexual harassment, he was out several years ago. I don't care. But he started a liberal network. Rachel Maddow was on it. And they just fizzled. Yeah, local radio is the best. Okay, and okay, I think we're caught up on the comments. Let me just check here because I get them from all platforms. Okay, all right. Back to it here. Sorry about that. Don't mean to belabor anything. I just like to make sure I'm not missing people who want to comment and so forth. Hi, you're on with John. Who am I talking with?
Hi.
Hey, Megan. How are you?
Yeah, just over everything.
Yeah. I know. I get it. We're all overloaded, but what mode are you in now? I know you've been in the mode, and I understand it. Very hopeful, very positive, very forward-looking mode of Donald Trump being in the Oval Office. Are you still?
It's not hopeful. It's faith in God and faith that the truth always prevails to some degree, no matter how much evil tries to combat it. You know, this is literally good versus evil at this point. I mean, the whole hypocrisy of the second impeachment. For what? If he doesn't get in, it's less than 10 days. He's out. You know how bad that would be for this country?
Oh, of course it would be. It would be
75 plus million people who voted for Trump aren't going to idly stand by and let this hypocrisy continue.
Of course. And not only that, and here's the rub, okay? And somebody pointed this out. I love the comment, and I can't remember who said it. It was just posted on one of the social media platforms. They said, isn't it kind of strange that the so-called victims are actually conducting the trial? How does that make sense, right? I mean, think about that. That's a great way to look at it. The victims, the ones who, in fact, AOC said, I didn't know if I was going to be alive at the end of the day. And she's one of the ones conducting the trial. Hello, there's something fundamentally wrong with that. And also, to what you said about having faith in God, so do I. But we also know the old adage, which is proven to be true, that God works in strange ways. So
I do.
You know, so
if Trump doesn't get in, you know, that's God. You know, that's God's will.
Right.
But I don't think it is. I don't think he's ready to give up on this country because people have woken up.
No, he's not going to give up.
Their senses. You know, it would be one thing I could see as, you know, almost like a punishment or, you know, a teaching moment to let this country fall and say people weren't waking up, but people are. And they're starting to speak up and they're starting to fight back.
Well, here's the thing.
So I think there's still hope for this country.
Yep.
God willing it. And, you know, I have faith in God because no matter what, to some degree, the good always prevails over evil. And, you know, we're in times which was described very specifically in the Bible. We're being persecuted, just as God's son, Jesus, was.
Right.
And we need to stand firm, stand fast, and stand tall.
Amen.
Because this is a challenge to your perseverance, your confidence, your strength, your faith in God. This is when it's tested the most.
This is when the middle is being tested of all of us.
And even if and mind you, if he doesn't get another 4 years, he ain't going to go out silently. He's going to drop the mic on the way out.
Well,
He'll let it all out.
You know what? This is why they're doing the impeachment, you know.
Oh, yeah, because they're afraid of what LC's got to say. They've already been exposed how much by him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he keeps on saying, you know, it would be, you know, a bad mistake on the only time he's referred to the Biden administration down in at Alamo, Texas. The only time it would be a bad idea on the Biden administration, it would be a mistake. And he keeps on saying, bring on the impeachment. I have the receipt.
By the way, where is Joe Biden calling for the unity? He says he's of unity and it's
They're not.
Love and happiness. And he's nowhere. He's not saying, well, we shouldn't really be. Where is he? Where is the big man? Where is the what do they call him? The big guy. Where is the big guy? Maybe he's doing, he's probably.
And this is how I see, John. If Trump gets 4 more years still, and there's still a chance, it's going to at least be civil unrest. If Trump doesn't get in, it's going to be a civil war, period.
Well, you know what?
They keep on dividing this country. They keep on persecuting the right and punishing them. It's going to break down to war.
You better be careful because
there's no getting around it.
Our buddy Pete might report you to the FBI for calling for a revolution. And,
I'm not calling for a revolution. I'm just saying facts.
No, I know that. No,
and
by the way, he's reporting me to the FBI for Mike and me for calling for a revolution, which we didn't. But yet, AOC and Bernie Sanders, who literally on stage in front of thousands of people called for a revolution last summer or last spring, they get a free pass.
Exactly. And I was watching the live stream of them doing the impeachment process, the voting right last night.
Yep.
And how hypocritical and blind these people are. One said, "Oh, blood is all on your hands," and I'm like, "How?"
Yeah, I heard that.
75+ million voters that voted for Trump weren't all there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So if the left does crimes and commits murders, then I can say you're guilty and you have blood on your hands? Oh, wait, that's already happened.
But the left knows that all they've got to do is tell their supporters out there in America that this didn't happen. These killings, these fires, they're mostly peaceful protests, and they believe it. I told another person about the election fraud, and I'm not afraid to say it. A rigged election, because it was. It is.
You know, that it was rigged. And someone said, "Oh, you're going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies." I was like, "No, I'm not." There's hundreds of videos if you look. You actually do the research of proof of it.
Yeah.
And thousands of sworn affidavits under the perjury of penalty.
Yeah,
penalty of perjury.
Right. No,
So,
I understand that. I know. It's
like, open your eyes. Use your ears, because you're obviously not doing it.
No, but
and
that's
he's like, "Well, show me the proof."
That's the thing. They are being so indoctrinated into believing whatever their leaders, their controllers, their handlers tell them, that they don't believe what they see. They're being told, "No, you didn't really see that. It didn't really happen. It's smoke and mirrors." And they believe it.
Was over the proceedings of the impeachment rule, voting. That is a joke. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I honestly, at this point, I don't care if someone reports me to the FBI, because I'm already probably being watched by the FBI.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not necessarily calling for a revolution, but I'm just stating the fact that if it keeps going down this route, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And honestly, I think every branch and every department in intelligence or defense in this country needs to be wiped clean and purged, because it is corrupt down to the very root.
Well, I'm not going to call for a revolution, but I will say this. I think the great reset that John Kerry is talking about is going to happen, but it's not going to be what he thinks it's going to be. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you can read.
They're setting off themselves for failure. And you know what? The GOP party is, it's dead. It's completely and utterly dead.
Of course it is.
They keep on pushing this narrative. They keep on going against the president, even after 4 years of saying he's done great things, and now you're turning against him.
Right.
You know what? I had faith in Ted Cruz, but he's even flip-flopped. And I am over it. I'm over the hypocrisy. I'm over the flip-flopping. I'm over the blatant, snake-like behavior. And honestly, you know what? The only people I really have faith in is only a small handful of people in the Republican Party that have stood firm and called out the hypocrisy of them calling us terrorists because of the six.
Yeah.
And whatnot, and wanting to purge us of, society. But yet, all summer long, the left was doing that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's hypocrisy. It's just blatant hypocrisy. And the followers of the leftist ideology don't see what's in front of their eyeballs. And it's pointless to yell and scold, and because they're like babies. They're like babies. They don't understand things.
They're less than babies, because even my daughter, with her, issues, to a certain extent, knows what's going on and understands what's going on.
Children
So,
know.
I mean, that's pretty sad when my daughter can even see it at her mentality level.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you know, and I thought I'd give you a heads up. I'll send it your way. Project Veritas released a video. Apparently, it was done before the election occurred. But undercover director, head of CBS, basically called for Trump supporters' children to be taken by national security and then re-educated.
Oh, they're unbelievable. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about, yes, Trump supporters. I didn't hear about the children specifically, but yeah, re-education camps. This is where we're going. Now I've got to let you go. I've got some Nancy Pelosi stuff I've got to get to, but thank you.
Don't even get me started on her.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got some stuff you got to hear, so stick around.
Yeah.
And thank you for calling, Megan.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, I promised you earlier we'd get to some Nancy Pelosi stuff. And also, I want to say this. A lot of people on the right are not helping. Now, let me preface what I'm going to say with this. If you are one of the people who are sending me videos and clippings and things saying, well, this is going to happen, I am absolutely 100% fine with that. I want that. I want to know as much as I can, and so do you. So do you. So keep sending the stuff. I am going to target right now the people who put this stuff out. And I can think of a couple of classic things. One is a YouTube video, which I didn't air any part of. And they were talking, somebody sent it to me on Monday, and I thank him for sending it to me. I appreciate him sending it to me because I want to hear it all. Now, I listened to this after the show Monday, and they were saying, okay, it's going to go down today. We thought it was going to be Wednesday. It's going to be down today. It's going to go down today. The media, the mainstream media, is going to be blacked out. There's going to be something going on with China. And this sounded very, very believable to most anybody. And they were saying, well, and the EAS system is going to be sounding. You're going to be hearing the alert go off, and you're going to be told what you need to do or what's going on, blah, blah, blah. That was Monday. It was supposed to happen Monday. Nothing. I got another thing. 2 days in a row, I got this thing said, President, it's happening tonight. President Trump is going to be on One American News Network and on Right Side Media. He is going to be speaking at 9 o'clock, and he's going to have big news tonight. Never happened. So here's my question. Why are people, are they doing it for notoriety? Are people doing this for notoriety? I don't believe half of what I hear anymore. But by all means, keep sending them to me. Like this guy, this pastor the other day, this guy from Texas who had the viral video. I forget his name. We aired some of his voice, and I warned you before, I cautioned you before. I said, take it for what it's worth. And he was saying, well, this is coming down. The FCC is warning. You got to listen to the nothing. So half of this stuff we're being told, this is big. It's happening now. We've been told that since November 4th. We've been told it by Rudy Giuliani, by Sidney Powell, by everybody, and by people we don't know who are asserting the fact that, oh, this is it. This is it. Get ready. It's coming down tonight, 9 o'clock. Don't miss it. OAN. So what do you believe? Literally, what do you believe? Hey, look, I'm as lost as you are. I say keep sharing that stuff with me. I research it as best I can, but there are limits. And I did this OAN thing, this President Trump speaking tonight at 9 o'clock. And I research all this stuff. I look all over the place. I scour media. I have I don't know, on my speed dial, I've got probably 50 sites I go to. Nothing. I use DuckDuckGo. I use not the dark web, but I use the Tor browser, the Onion router. And I use my VPN, and I go through all this stuff. And nothing. There's nothing to corroborate a lot of this stuff. So I'm the perfect person to send some of these things to because I have tools I can research with. And I can dispel most of them out of hand, but I won't. Instead, I will let you hear them. If I think they're somewhat plausible, I will play you excerpts on the air and let you decide, just so you'll be ready if something really does, if something they say is going to happen, really for once does happen, but it doesn't very often. Whatever you hear that sounds, oh my God, this is it. We're going to have Trump for another 4 years. The guy in Nevada, the guy with this Republican committee, they did a big news story. This was huge in this Nye County in Nevada. This guy, he does all this research. 4 hours a day he researches. The Republican Party building him up. This is big. This is big. Donald Trump's going to be president for another 4 years. Count on it. And the news covered it, and it was on Facebook. So far, nothing. I think some of these folks, I really think, I think a lot of them are very, very hopeful and well-intended. But unfortunately, 99% of the time, they're wrong. They have no basis in fact. It's all wishful and hopeful thinking, which I'm all on board with, but you don't treat it as fact when you put it out there. But trust me, most things you get, if it is indeed fact, you are going to be able to corroborate it with at least one other website. There's so much information out there. If you see it in just one place and nowhere else, and it's not from a source that you know is reliable, probably not true, probably not going to happen. And that's been the case all too often. But even as I say that, I say keep sharing the stuff. I want to see the stuff. I bring you truth here. That's why I hope you can count on me. I bring you truth. If there are questions, I tell you, I don't know about this, but here it is. I'll let you hear it. And, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I can't corroborate it. 1128. Nancy Pelosi. Fancy Nancy. I'll play my song again, too. I just got a text. Somebody wants to hear the song. Somebody heard about the song, didn't hear the song. Bring you back to your Dr. Demento days. Okay, so here's the deal with Nancy Pelosi. Other than the fact that we already know she is a mook. Fancy Nancy made a statement. Oh, it was something else. She proved in just a few minutes that the right, you and me, the right has no right in America because we and President Trump are absolutely the filth that needs to be cleaned up and wiped off the face of the earth. We are the proverbial dog poop on the shoes of society. Here's part of what she said, and I'm going to break this up for you. Fancy Nancy Pelosi. Why do I have no letters on this stuff? Okay, here it is.
So we know that on January 6th, when that assault was taking place on the Capitol, 3,865 people in our country died of the coronavirus. Many of them people of color because of the injustice.
Got to get
of
race
law.
in there because it's
The
unjust.
next day, on Thursday, 4,000 people died of the coronavirus. Why? Because decisions were made at the highest level months before in the Oval Office of denial, distortion, delay.
The 3 Ds.
Calling it a hoax.
Yeah.
President
He
is
never
responsible for
called it a
many of
hoax.
those
He
deaths.
never called it a
But
hoax.
we have to get
What a liar.
to the place where we will crush the virus, and crush it we will.
Crush it we will.
I bring that up because on the 6th, that was the Feast of the Epiphany. Many of you have heard me say that in some remarks I made that day. The Feast of the Epiphany. Epiphany having the connotation of an awakening that people will realize in a different way. I thought it was going to be an epiphany for those who were in opposition to our democracy to see the light.
You mean you?
Instead, it has been an epiphany for the world to see that there are people in our country led by this president, for the moment, who have chosen their whiteness over democracy.
What?
That's what this is about.
Oh, that's what this is about. We, my friend, have chosen our whiteness over democracy. Does she even know what the hell she's talking about? I think not. What is she even talking about? As she babbles mindlessly, cluelessly. We are choosing whiteness over democracy. That, says Nancy, is what this is all about. What is all about? What the hell is she even talking about? Pretty words from the House Speaker. So we're all racist. Don't deny it, accept it. President Trump, supported by disgraceful people like us, hate people of color. That's what she just said. She just said that. Oh, they're the party of unity and tolerance. Let's see if she's all done calling people racist. Here's some more of her statement. I think this was yesterday.
There was an article written a number of years ago on democracy, which said, I fear the day when white Americans will have to choose between their whiteness and this democracy.
The whiteness and democracy.
And we saw what happened that day.
No.
This cannot be exaggerated.
Oh, no.
The complicity, not only the complicity, the instigation of the President of the United States
he instigated.
must and will be addressed.
Uh-huh.
It's only a number of days now before we inaugurate a new president. And aren't we proud that the Vice President of the United States is Kamala Harris from our neck of the woods, the first woman Vice President of the United States, the first African-American Vice President, the first Asian-American President of the United States. We're very, very proud of that beautiful diversity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she said it. The first Asian-American President of the United States. Or as the left would call it, a dog whistle. Come on, did you? I was watching the video. She couldn't contain herself. It's the first. She's going to be the first. Oh, she's Republican. Oh, my God, Kamala Harris. She's awesome. Kamala Harris is going to be one of the most dangerous people this country has ever had in power. She's going to help ruin what 240 years plus of freedom in a democratic republic have accomplished. She is going to ruin it. Maybe single-handedly, maybe with help. Nancy's so happy. Nancy's a denier because Nancy wants power. Nancy wants money for her peeps, for her people, her people in Congress for Eric Swalwell sleeping with a Chinese spy. Oh, he belongs on the House Intelligence Committee. Oh, of course he does. Liar, Adam Schiff. Oh, he belongs in a high position. Adam Schiff, he's great. Adam Schiff is great. And by the way, Eric Swalwell is not the leader of the House Intel Committee. That would be Adam Schiff. Sorry, I misspoke. They're both the same. They're like one guy in two different bodies. They're both idiots. They're both California Democrats. What more do you need to know? Okay, so she loves Joe Biden. He is, after all, you're going to love this. He is, after all, a healer.
I spoke with Joe Biden yesterday. He extends his greetings to all of you. He's ready to get moving. He is a healer.
A healer.
He is a healer.
He is a healer.
Spirit of America the Beautiful. He is one who will try to bring people together. But that coming together comes from speaking truth to the American people. And they haven't heard truth from this president in 4 years.
Haven't heard truth from this president in 4 years, says Fancy Nancy Ice Cream Pelosi. 4 years. So we've been lied to, she says, for 4 years. Even though unemployment went down as promised. Even though the First Step Act, which helped minorities stay out of prison, happened as promised. Even though the wall was built as promised. Even though regulations for businesses were cut as promised. Even though troops were brought home as promised. Even though terrorist masterminds were killed as promised. Even though more Middle East peace has been brokered in the past 2 years than we've seen in our lifetime, Donald Trump is a liar. Don't accept anything different than that. Because Nancy cares. She cares about the children. She cares about you. She wants the funds to get out there. The stimulus needs to get out there because of the children. We need to feed the children, she said in October to Wolf Blitzer on CNN. And cut Wolf off at the knees when he called her on it. $1.8 trillion the president was going to sign, and she said she poo-pooed it because the children need more. So 2 months go by, and they get half of that. All of a sudden, she's setting Joe Biden up to look like a hero. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I'm telling you, leftists, I know you're not going to believe it because you don't believe truth when it's put right in front of your face. When you're smacked up the side of the head with truth, it's like, right? Am I right? What's that? Truth, what's that? Look at it, the video. Look, there's Ali Velci standing there in front of the fire, the police station burning down, saying the protests are mostly peaceful. Okay. He must be right because what I'm seeing with my eyes must be wrong. They control what you think, what you believe. Your idols in government have you fooled. Regardless of what you actually see with your own two eyes, what they say is what's right. Stop being controlled for the sake of America and for your own sake. For your own sake, you're a pawn. You are just an animated pawn, a mindless animated pawn who has the ability and the right to cast a ballot. Very dangerous, but it's your right. And you do so mindlessly. Now she wraps up her little speech thing, or whatever you want to call it, with some more octogenarian happy talk. And she ends by plagiarizing the Pledge of Allegiance because that makes people feel good.
He will speak truth, and people will understand what is at stake and what the right path is for liberty and justice for all.
Oh, for liberty and justice for all. I'm Nancy Pelosi. Good day. Or in her case, good morning. It's Sunday. You remember that? She was on, who was it? Was it George Stephanopoulos? Let me find that here. All right. I can't let this go. I've got to find this. Things are so easy to find. It was during Good Morning America. Yeah. I thought so.
Now that we've helped people customize and
Oh, stop it. We got the old Limu the emu. All right.
The day that we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Good morning. Sunday morning. It's like she had a stroke. I mean, I don't mean to make fun of the elderly, but gee whiz, Wally. She seems a little out of her mind. She seems a little tweaked. So there you go. There's your dose of Nancy Pelosi for the day. I'll probably be able to get more later because I'm sure she'll have plenty to say after the impeachment vote goes. I have not even been watching to see where we are on that. Probably should, huh? Probably should, just to see what's happening here. All right. No, I'm not seeing anything right now, but I'll keep an eye on it. We're almost done with this show anyway, so you won't have to put up with me much longer. Has Pete been back? I haven't seen Pete. Pete hasn't been back. I gotta block him when I get off the air. Paul said she had too much NyQuil. You know what? That maybe that was it. Good morning, Sunday morning. Right in the middle of an interview, just out of nowhere. And what was with the Windows startup theme? Was that part of it? I don't remember. I don't think it was. I think that might have been just the video. But I hear that heard the Windows there. I thought, what the heck's going on here? Check our computers. Everything looks good. 11:42. All right. Let's talk about armed protests. What do you think about armed protests? I was wondering what other people thought, but I've formed my own opinions about this. If you're considering taking your gun to a protest in Augusta or any other capital, let me caution you, it is not a good idea. And I'm going to tell you why I think. What do we gain by bringing guns to a rally for show? If you're at a rally and you're concealed carrying, that's responsible. That's responsible gun ownership. That's responsible self-preservation. If you're at a rally just to show off the fact you have a gun, well, that's dumb. You're going to hurt what we have worked so hard to gain. Guns aren't to show anybody who's the boss. They are not. They aren't to show anybody that, hey, we're here, we don't mess with us. No, that's wrong. I mean, that goes against what gun ownership is. They know we've got guns. They know there are a lot of guns. You don't need to flex your muscle. I don't want to be part of that. Now, if someone gets hurt, just one person, doesn't matter where in the country it is, then we've gone and shot ourselves in the foot, pun intended. Plus, whenever you have a group of people who get together of any political ideology, you know as well as I do, there are wingnuts in all of them. Yes, there are liberal and conservative whack jobs. Why take a chance? You're going to get a nut who may shoot and set gun rights back a decade. Even if he didn't hit anybody, if he just shoot a gun at a rally, what's that say to people? Oh, these people are crazy. One person. All it takes is one. One. Now, clearly, the left and right they're judged differently by this. Because we had all these thousands of people out rioting in the streets and burning and looting, destroying, going into neighborhoods and saying, we want your house. You stole this land from us. That's all okay. That's all overlooked. Thousands of people. But if just one person calls foul on the right, the left is all over it. You take one person like Jussie Smollett, or like the person who gets all wound up because they're transgender woman and they aren't allowed to go into a man's or a woman's bathroom. The media is nuts. One person is all it takes. I'm telling you, all it's going to take is for one shot to go off, whether it hurts anybody or not. One shot to go off at a public rally in the Capitol during all this hubbub, and forget about it. Forget about it. We're cooked. Think about that before you engage in any kind of armed protest. Don't do it. If you go to a protest and you are responsibly armed, now you're legit in my mind. You are doing the right things. Even if you open carry at but where they are actively saying this is an armed protest, I would not be caught open carrying. Would not. Open carry is legal. And I'm not saying it's illegal. It's not illegal. But I'm just saying, think. I feel dumb that I didn't think enough about it so I could give you a well thought out answer with reasons behind why I wouldn't do it. I was questioning whether or not this is a good idea. I thought about it, and I think, no, not a good idea. I'm pretty resolute in that now. My gut tells me it's not smart. My gut's usually right. Now, if you have friends in Florida and you're worried about protests, armed protests, and violence, people getting hurt, Florida is one place, as Alanie, who's on the feed here usually, will tell you. She lives in Florida. So does my friend Paul down in Miami. You don't have much to worry about because unlike the Democratic-controlled states that we saw over the summer, they do not pander and cater to domestic terrorism. They do not open their city for the summer of love. They do not go out and join the rioters like Ted Wheeler in Portland, Oregon. Call for solidarity as they destroy the city and light fires to buildings with people trapped inside. No, Florida's a different animal, thank God. Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, spoke about the penalties for violators at the villages. He had this to say yesterday.
If anything is disorderly, we are going to act very quickly. Don't worry about that. When I came out with our legislation in September, I said, look, Florida handled this summer well. We didn't tolerate it, but this stuff is happening in our country. We just have to understand it. And I don't care why you're doing it. You're not doing it here. So if there's any type of disorder, we will have the reinforcements there. I don't know that I've gotten anything specific for it, but that would not be advisable for people to want to do that in state Florida. And understand, our legislation is going to pass this legislative session. So if you riot, you are going to jail. And you're going to have to spend time in jail. If you assault law enforcement in a violent assembly, you're going to definitely go to jail. You burn down someone's business. You do all this. The penalties are going to be very swift and immediate.
Now that's leadership. That is leadership. That's Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. He's not taking any crap. And he's warning you, go ahead and try it. Alanie says, Sheriff Grady of Hillsborough County said, blow them away before they even step into your door when rioting started in Tampa. That's why we love DeSantis. Amen. Amen. Blow them away when they step in your business. Boom. Oh, you're so cruel. You are so cruel. They may need to get what's in your business. They may be oppressed and they need that. You mean entitled? No. I don't think anybody is so entitled that they need to break in and steal what I work for. And God forbid they do, because they won't be walking out the way they came in. That's American leadership. What you're seeing in New York, in Oregon, in Washington, in Georgia, that is not leadership. That is complying with the demands of the mob. Plain and simple, it's all about compliance with the left. What are they pushing us to, you ask? What could they possibly be pushing us to? Well, you know, I'm not going to say it because then I'll be accused of inciting violence, as Donald Trump was when he said, we'll peacefully walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. He did say that. He did say peacefully in the speech. I was sitting right here during his speech in this studio airing his speech. He did say peacefully. But as Katie Tur on MSNBC asserted, even though they aren't supposed to have any editorial opinion on MSNBC during the daytime, because that's what Chuck Todd said, even though she said Donald Trump incited riots, the Capitol riot. Katie Tur said that. Now, she's supposed to be a journalist. That is editorial opinion. The fact that every news network, all of them, are saying that the claims of voter fraud are baseless, that is editorial opinion. Not based on evidence, that's for sure, because there's plenty of evidence. Not based on fact, because it was never looked into. The courts didn't hear it. Well, the court didn't hear it because there was nothing there. How do they know there was nothing there if they didn't look into it? Duh! Rocket scientist? What's the matter for you? Huh? Going to have metal detectors at the Capitol now. Who do you think they're doing it for? Well, yeah, you can argue that, well, you know, after what happened on... No, I get that. But Congress has to go through the metal detectors. According to the Blaze, several House Republicans are reportedly furious. They now have to go through metal detectors before entering the lower chamber. It was added in response to the attack. NBC News correspondent Leanne Caldwell tweeted yesterday afternoon, I never thought I'd see this. Metal detectors have been set up for members before they enter the House floor. A clear indication that Democratic leadership does not trust some right-wing House members. This is an NBC reporter saying this. She unknowingly called out the party she likely aligns with. Yes, she did. She sees it for what it really is and said that. She may regret it now, but she said a clear indication that Democratic leadership, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, does not trust some right-wing House members. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko tweeted, for members of Congress to enter the floor of the U.S. House, we now have to go through intense security measures on top of the security we already go through. These new provisions include searches and being wanded like criminals. We now live in Pelosi's communist America. Amen, Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Representative Lauren Boebert. Now, you know her. She's from Rifle, Colorado, owns Shooter's Grill, where all of her waitstaff is armed after somebody was killed outside her establishment. She got armed. She stayed armed. She requires all of her employees to take shooter training and carry a gun, and they do so willingly and gladly. And she's also carrying a gun. Her Glock is with her at the U.S. Capitol. God bless America. God bless Representative Lauren Boebert. She tweeted, "I'm legally permitted to carry my firearm in Washington, D.C. and within the Capitol complex. Metal detectors outside of the House would not have stopped the violence we saw last week. It's just another political stunt by Speaker Pelosi." Boebert added, "I'm legally permitted to carry," and blamed it squarely on Pelosi, as did Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Amen. I'm glad somebody's standing up. We need more people in the halls of Congress to stand up to the filth, to the un-American, unpatriotic, unconstitutional behavior. We need more. But we don't get them because everybody goes with comfort food. Oh, Mitch McConnell. Oh, Mitch McConnell's the guy. He's been there forever. He's Uncle Mitch. Good old Uncle. And Chuck Schumer. Chuck and Nancy. Oh, Nancy Pelosi. She's done such wonderful things for the district. If you need a hypodermic needle, you can find them anywhere. They're free. Just pick them up off the streets. Make sure you sterilize them first. If you're looking for some manure for your fields, all you've got to do is go down, take a walk through the streets of San Francisco. It's everywhere, and it too is free. You don't even have to pay for it. Thank you, Nancy. We'll vote for you again. And so it goes until they die. They will be reelected for no good reason other than, oh, we know them. It's the devil you know. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. Mike Violet here, bright and early at 6. Have a great afternoon. Be well. Thank you for being there, and hopefully you share. Hopefully we keep building this sucker before we get banned. We'll be back. Maybe not on the same. We're always. Just make sure you make a note of this, because we'll be able to instruct you where to go if you know where we are. Legacy1160.com. There's always going to be audio there. The video we can't guarantee. The audio is always going to be there. And we'll tell you where we are if we aren't available on the other platforms. So just keep that in mind. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm John James.
AM 1160, WSKW.
Townline Antiques wants to know, what are you shopping for today? Searching for furniture to add to your home? Townline Antiques has beautiful pieces of furniture for every room, built to last with quality materials from the past. Thinking of decorating in a classic style? You'll find enchanting home decor, artwork, glassware, and hundreds more items around every corner. Do you collect books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics? Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items to add to your collection that you won't find anywhere else. If you love searching through the treasures of the past, here's more great news. Townline Antiques has expanded with extra booth space. Now there are even more quality antiques to browse every time you visit. Plus, there are a limited number of dealer spaces now available. If you